out the
Oh
picture.
yeah, we're not.
All right,
It's water, not
That's-
soda.
here we go.
Five, four, three, two, one.
What is the Matrix?
Start me from the top, man.
Maybe it's the weed got me. Maybe it's these trees got me. Maybe it's these hoes got me. Maybe it's this stroll that got me. Maybe it's these clothes got me. Maybe it's these laws got me. Maybe it's my dogs got me. Maybe it's these bras got me. Maybe it's this man that got me. Maybe it's my clan that got me. Maybe it's my fam that got me. My plans, my plans. Matrix, Matrix.
When I wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning, putting my read in my Bible paper. Lord, I can see him later. Middle finger up, always screaming, fuck a hater. Chewing on them suckers like annihilator. No hip hop, this ain't rock and roll. This is real music, pop lock your soul.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, because you are now tuned into What is the Matrix TV. I'm your host, Jason Elm Street Williams, Master of the Universe, and you are tapped into the hottest show on the planet. So this week, this Wednesday, we are getting into the murder of the CEO of one of the top billion-dollar companies in healthcare. Ooh, and then Joe Biden pardons his son, criminal crack-smoking son, gun-slinging son, and China attacks the USA in a cyber attack, and then Donald Trump stops the export of China products. Kash Patel, new FBI director. Once again, China hacks the citizens of the United States, but also China finds over $100 billion worth of gold, changing the whole world dynamic with the economics. So right there, we're going to talk about the primetime effect with Deion Sanders and the racism in college football and the effect of one black man changing the wealth of a whole city. So let's get into it. So let me introduce my co-host. We have beautiful Oracle, the goddess Lana. How you doing, sister?
Oh, I am tired, but I'm doing good. I'm good. We can get the party started whenever. I'm here. You know, it's what's up.
And we got the God raining down from Atlanta, all the way up from Atlanta, the brother Sun Ra.
Peace, hot up, wash up. Peace.
So let's get those pictures up of the murder of that CEO that they just released today. Was it today that they murdered him, or was it yesterday?
I think it was today.
Man,
This morning.
Every day, as you guys see when you're tuned into What is the Matrix TV, it's something new. So right here, breaking news, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, pow, shot in the back of his head in front of the Hilton Hotel, Midtown Manhattan, New York. And this brother was talking about, his slogan was value-based healthcare, keeping patients healthy, not sick. So right here, we talk about a murder in the Hilton Hotel, which we know the Hiltons are connected to the genocide of American Indians, which we call Mers and Moors and Black Indians first. So when the Hilton family murdered the indigenous people on those lands, they were able to get those lands and build their wealth, most likely on that hotel land. So that's interesting. Even with the Trump hotel, even with JFK coming into office with controlling the healthcare, but JFK Jr. was taking pictures on a plane with McDonald's with Donald Trump. So really, what's going on? So this, once again, on what is the Matrix TV? We're gonna get into all this. So, Sun Ra, what do you feel as we start off the show with a murder of the CEO connected to healthcare?
Check this out. So I'm just now discovering and hearing this news. When I got off work and I checked my news, and I saw that. But it's interesting. It's very interesting that now you're seeing a lot of these CEOs getting knocked off, disappearing. What's really going on? You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see how all this unfolds and how this event affects upcoming future events. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know too much about it. I'm just now learning about it, man.
Wow. Lana, did you do any research or hear about it?
I did research this time. So I watched it. What I just saw is basically how he got shot. And condolences to the family, because that's nothing that you want to hear, early in the morning. However, just watching it and playing it over again, it almost looked like it was planned. He kind of did a movement with his body. Am I tripping? I like talking to you, Jason, because I say these things. Sometimes I think I'm just kind of like looking at it too much, but it looked like he did a movement. The guy comes out and shoots him, and I'm just like, that's planned. And then it's in front of the Hilton. So I'm like, okay, what's up with that? They don't show this stuff on the news for nothing. You got to grab a piece of paper and a pen and kind of jot down these things because it's happening for a reason. They're showing you this stuff for a reason because it's the fall of all these systems and the irony of it being in healthcare. Healthcare. They say that they are the ones that have to govern what you eat and what vitamins you take. But no, that stuff has never been for us, ever. That stuff is designed to kill us. So ironically, these healthcare people, this system is falling. So yes, I am interested. I'm interested in to know what more is going on because we got to connect these dots here.
Well, Kobe Bryant. Let's talk about the Black Mama's helicopter falling out the sky.
Well, wait, hold on. Before we get to there, I will say this to play devil's advocate so we can think a little deeper.
Okay.
All of this stuff that is going on is nothing but a mother effing show. So for all we know, he ain't dead. Those motherfuckers are actors.
Thank you.
We know. We don't know nothing. Listen, we don't know nothing but what they're showing us on this TV.
Exactly.
The same TV that they show us movies. It's one big ass movie. And they're trying to trick us. Just like, and I'm gonna land it right here. Just like they tricked millions with the Chris Rock slap. Come on, man. Nigga, please.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But guess what? A lot of people and don't feel bad if you thought it was real. Don't feel bad because it's a good show. They give y'all a good ass show. But when you really pay attention to this shit, a lot of stuff is fake.
Thank you, Sun Ra. That's exactly what I was saying when I watched it. I said, let me grab my popcorn.
Because Jesus into P's and Q's activation on the line. Go ahead, Goddess.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say. Go ahead.
So when I watched it, I said, look, when you watch it, because they have like a little clip, it's like 2 minutes. It has no noise, but he's walking. He makes this movement with his body, and then the guy shoots him. And I'm like, that's planned. That's planned. That's not accidental. That's planned. So yeah, like you were saying, he could have transitioned someplace else. His family could have known about it. They're in on this. It's deeper than like Sun Ra was saying. It's a little deeper than what we see on the news.
Well, they hit him with a silencer. They said that, and they definitely said it was premeditated. They said that when they looked at the cameras, the person could have been sitting there for overnight and definitely was waiting for hours to get the person. So what were you going to say, Sun Ra?
One thing that I'm big on, and I'm going to talk about more, is the only knowledge, information that is so important. Forget about the Anunnaki. Forget about the black Egyptian gods and goddesses and aliens and shit like that. The most important thing is to tune in with your divine intuition.
Yep.
Your divine intuition, right? If you're tuning in and you're trying to stay in tune, you're gonna be able to see what the fuck really going on. Is it a show? Is it real life? What's really going on?
I agree. Murdoch, put on that Rothschild burning in the fire. I'm gonna connect. It makes sense to what Sun Ra was saying as far as fake news, not Quest for Fire. Oh, we're gonna get into that movie too. It was William Rothschild dies in fire in Hollywood. And basically, if you guys were watching the news a few weeks ago, they said one of the Rothschild, you had it up earlier, one of the Rothschilds member had died in a fire. Well, I believe it was the LA Times retracted the statement saying that it wasn't a Rothschild's member and that the person had impersonated a Rothschild, changed his name to Williams Rothschild, and was living a life of luxury under a Rothschild's name. And that person who mysteriously died wasn't the Rothschild. So once again, we do have to always be careful of anything we see because at the end of the day, it's a script. Candace Owens just had an interview with the CIA whistleblower, and he basically, these are things some of us know, but there are things that I was learning as well. But they were speaking on how whether TV shows, movies, news, they all have to be ran through the CIA. Facebook signed a contract that it's a fact that Facebook signed a contract to where they determine what people see on their feed, and certain information does get withheld. So the fact of shadow banning people such as myself from years ago, getting shadow banned in 06, 04, and telling people like, yo, they're messing with my views. Oh, you're crazy. And it's like, no, when I go outside, people come up to me. So like, what is it? And the thing about it, record labels started going off of the logistics, off of the computer, knowing and not knowing at probably the time when it was first starting that people were already being sent as industry plants by people who could control the bots. So basically that's how they changed music and changed society, was through all that, you know. So just with premeditated murders in front of the Hilton, live on camera, there we go. William Rothschild dies after house fire in the Hollywood Hills. And so they retracted the statement. But once again, let's say a Rothschild did or didn't, and we see them dying off. We see all these top people either getting locked up or dying off because just like Lana said, this is the fall of the troglodyte pale man society. But really, it's just a dream. It's we're living in his dream, but really it's a nightmare. That's why they call it the American dream. It's just an idea that we were born into, that our parents made us believe in because their grandparents made them believe in it. But truly, the majority of these ideologies that are in our head are really fake and make believe. Once again, that's why we have to activate ourselves. And let's put the picture with Kash Patel, the new FBI director, because I like how Brother P's and Q's, he has a slogan, activation, and meaning that we have to start using other code words because the word woke is now a bad word. Right. This dude right here, Trump picks a fierce critic of the FBI as the new FBI director. His name is Kash with a K Patel, Patel. He's a former defense secretary, but he's going after the woke community, but he's also going after the cancel culture, people who were canceling people, hopefully such as myself, who were canceled because we were telling the truth about the government, and they're not coming after brothers like us because we're not the woke community. We're the gods, we're the Merv, we're the aboriginal beings, we're the beings of light, you know. So, but at the end of the day, also playing devil's advocate, what do you guys feel with the new FBI director saying he's specifically going after cancel culture in the woke community.
So I'm glad that we have people like you because I love getting my news from a black face. You're the first person I heard tell me the story, and I accept it. I don't gotta do no research. You see how my mind is out of the spell? All right, all right, all right. So you said what happened?
So basically,
So hold on. You said wait, hold on, hold on. So basically, you said the CIA director is saying that he's gonna wage war against the woke culture.
yes, the new FBI director. Yes, that's
And
his.
what is his name?
His name is Kash Patel. K
The
A
Hin
S H Hindu, the
the
Hindu brother.
Hindu. Oh, the Hindu.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm from, so okay, bet now. See. This is
For the
called live thinking.
Hindus.
This is called live thinking. And now I'm putting it together in my head right now. I did read an article yesterday about Trump trying to go after a Hindu named Patel, but I didn't. Okay, so you're saying that he's basically gonna lock him down, and Patel is saying that all right, bet we're gonna go to war against woke culture. Now that sounds like a code word saying we're about to attack these guys.
I agree. That's what I was thinking, but I always want to look at different perspectives. So, what do you feel, Lana?
I didn't really read on it. I watched it a little bit, honestly, and he just doesn't look like he's playing. They look like they're just no nonsense. I mean, Donald Trump and his whole crew look like they're handling this like this is a straight corporation. You know, if you work for a company and they got bought out and they get this no nonsense crew coming in here, that's what Donald Trump is doing. So I haven't really watched the Patel guy. But just a little bit from what I've seen, he just looks like he's just no nonsense. So whatever he plans on doing, he's gonna roll that shit out like
Yeah,
AC Rocky.
So
yeah, like
that definitely so that affects people like people like me, I guess, people like you who are so-called we are so-called woke, whether we want to accept it or not. People that look at us as so-called woke. So if he's saying he's gonna raise war on wokeness, sheesh.
yes, and they're also taking out the education, the Department of Education, and then for me,
Is he?
looking at him, the Casper Town, it's like we should never be in a society where we're in fear of saying something, speaking up, questioning. Just like in church, it's almost as if they're making the world like church was when we were kids, to where you better not question God.
Right.
When you were like, man, the Bible, this doesn't make sense. I don't like this. Oh, that's the devil. You can't think like that. And it was like, what the F? So for me, just like Sunra said, when they say the woke culture, as much as we don't like to attach ourselves to these words and labels, they attach it to us, just like they call us black, right? We know we're not black people, but they attach those spells to us. So what solution would you have? Because brother Dr. Malachi Z. York speaks on the Hindus. What is your knowledge on the actual Hindus? Because I could start speaking on the negative aspect of, the dark-skinned, straight-haired beings versus those who are dark and woolly-haired.
Okay, so check this out. Okay, so check this out. While you was reading that, I was looking up this Patel brother. Um, so it says right here, Patel is going against woke ideologues for the Department of Defense for the military to purge. So when I hear that sentence, a couple of days ago, I was watching the first purge. In the first purge, that was good, boy. Woo! And that motherfucker, they showed a military nigga going to the hood and killing niggas. I'm like, they showing this in a movie? Are they what are they just don't care no more, huh? They don't care. They were showing, listen, in that movie First Purge, they were showing white government officials going into hoods and killing everybody. And so in the movie the hood had to fight back. So in the movie you had niggas with guns fighting the government dressed in, in these white dudes. That movie that movie was crazy. So when I looked up what you was talking about, I saw the words woke, military, and purge.
Mm,
That's
wow.
crazy. You said all that.
And they have, I grew up in the suburbs. I didn't grow up in the hood, in
Mm.
Riverside. So
Oh, you
my
might be
neighbor,
good. You might be good.
no, listen,
Okay,
my
go ahead.
neighbors as a kid, my dad eventually told me why, but if they let me into their house, because if a lot of the kids, their parents were racist, so they wouldn't play with me. So the very few white families that did allow their children to play with me as a kid too, their dad and then will always show me all their guns. So every freaking white person that I knew and grew up with, they had like hundreds and like dozens of guns. And eventually my dad would talk about other stuff. So it just I always knew that as a kid, and even when I got older, their parents would show us their guns. And for me, I would always be like, "What's up, brother Tyrone? Love you." I would always be like, "Why do so-called white folks have all these guns?" And the reason why is because one day, if this cracks off, the majority of them are going to come and kill you.
Mm, mm, mm,
Period.
mm,
They show
mm.
you in the movies their
Good, yeah.
ancestors murdered you to get the land that you stand on today.
Mm, mm,
People
mm,
have
mm.
forgotten. They have been assimilated through the music, TV, through religion, and have forgotten who we are by erasing our culture as first Black Indians and Aboriginal people who can attach themselves to a culture that still exists. But we have forgotten that we have been murdered nonstop as people because they gave us hip hop. They gave us a generation of us to forget who the real
Ooh.
enemy was. They
What
made it cool
movie?
to beef, and then now it's cool to beef and rap, beef lyrically. Nah, man, stop all that. We gotta unify. I grew up. They're ready for war. They told you that you were a slave. They told you that you were Black. They told you that you were nothing. But you are a god. You are a goddess. We are ether beings. We have a culture, y'all. We have a real culture. Just India, the United States of America, just gave India over, I believe, $10 million worth of artifacts back, return. So that meant that the United States had and still has over $10 million or hundreds of millions of dollars of India's artifacts. So imagine our real artifacts that the United States government and other countries and nations have of ours that are our wealth. This is why when we have our land, we're going to get our statues and wealth back and open up our museums. That's why we have to stop playing their games. Let's link it up to prime time. Do we got that prime time effect or the Black owned leagues, Murdoch? Because this is where the wealth solutions come in, y'all. Now, when you see the carving, okay, I was going to show y'all before we bring it back to what I was showing at the carving, and then we'll go to that. This is wealth. Now, some might look at the statue and say, what do you mean? I meant that the wealth of how to carve this, that's wealth. Teaching someone how to mold this and go around the world with that knowledge to get a stone and make any type of sculpture. People pay you for that. You feel me? Then being able to break down the certain codes and sounds and frequencies to teach people outside of the alphabet, which is another spell that we taught the troglodytes and humans and taught them before all that stuff. So the wealth does lie in the statues because it talks about right angles, it talks about different mathematics, science, what they call death, life, math, all sorts of culture within artifacts that just looking and touching them, whether it's made of basalt or obsidian or different types of crystals, that activate within you, that's in your body. This is what we need. So go to that, Murdoch, and then we'll link that to China finding the gold. But I want to emphasize that we have so much wealth, even within the ball games that we play. So when we talk about one person like Brother Deion Sanders, one God showing you the effect that he can have. This is the power of one of us, y'all. 2.26 million followers on social media. 268,000 the season prior. Merchandise sales increased 505%. University applications up 51% among Black and African American students. And 10 million / home games, direct economics. So one brother, this is the power, y'all. So instead of, and much love to the brother, but instead of giving that power to another deity, give it to the land that we're gonna build. Give it to us building our own stadiums, our own institutions and what they call schools, which is hell and all that. But our own schools, institutions, and universities, so we can soon, not one day, we're going to have our own games to where people spend all their economics to see us play. We're going to have our own jerseys. We're going to have the paying for the helmets, all the industry that it takes to create the game we need to own. So if one so-called Black man can change a whole city and change a whole reality, imagine when we come together. Mm-hmm. Imagine, and that's what Sun Ra on the last episode was saying, when they fear a multiple of head coaches of so-called Black men in a position of power, leading other young brothers, instead of someone who doesn't look like them, once again, telling them what to do. That's why it's important for a so-called basically we'll say it in layman's terms, white men should not be coaching Black kids to that degree, because when we have a white man telling you what to do like that, instead of a brother, it creates psychological damage and warfare really in that child's mind. And when they grow up, they look at that white person as superior and themselves as less than, especially when you involve a deity that doesn't look like us, that most of our people are under a spell. So Deion Sanders breaks a spell, y'all. And that's why they don't want us to have the opportunities, because the moment you see it, you know it's a reality. And that's what we're doing. We're building up the land. We're building up the land right now in our minds. That's why they don't want us to have superhero movies, y'all. They don't want us in the quarterback position winning the Super Bowl and doing these things and being owners. Why? Because then you know you can do it. So let's get into the China gold, because I wanted to connect that with the wealth that we have as melanated people all throughout this planet, and what we're going to connect right now as the fall of America happens, for all the United States, but the rise of America, y'all, because we are the true Americans. You know, this is our land. So China discovers a gold-filled cave worth nearly $100 billion in a mountain. And that's just one mountain. Now, I'll repeat it again. China discovers a gold-filled cave worth nearly $100 billion in a mountain. So you might ask, what does that do? Well, for one, it changes the economy, y'all. It literally, this is the world's largest gold deposit that's most recently found. And you see the Bitcoin war, the digital currency, right? But what was the standard back in the day before the digital currency and the Federal Reserve with Jekyll Island and all that? You know, it was gold. It was the gold standard. And so basically, if China has a bunch of gold now, that changes the dynamic of the economy. And the gold and the price of gold just went up. So Sun Ra, I know your teachings get into gold. What was gold used for your teachings, and what do you feel China might be able to do with the gold?
Wow, that's deep, man. I'm gonna keep it very simple. So gold is also an intergalactic currency. You know what I'm saying? So when beings be on this planet, when they, if long story short, let's say we were officially a part of the galactic community, officially. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Somebody called me. My bad. We will be dealing in gold. China knows this. They're woke too. They woke too. Remember now the Anunnaki story about how the black guys came to Earth looking for gold, man. Why? Come on, man. Come on, man. Booyah. Come on, man. So we're dealing with intergalactic currency when we're talking
Peace,
about
brother
gold.
AJ.
Now, why? So now, but here, let's go a little deeper. Why is gold important when we get to a higher level? Gold is used in advanced technologies. Matter of fact, matter of fact, matter of fact,
Mm,
matter of fact. Let me show you how advanced gold is used on other planets. Right? Some of our ancestors are living on planets that are so close to the sun, they need to build a dome around them. In order to build a dome, you need gold, and the gold when you thin it out, you can spread it. You can spread it over if you have enough. You can thin it out, and you can spread it over an entire planet. Right? You spread it out over an entire planet, and it will block the incoming harmful radiation coming in from the very close stars. So it's used as a dome. So it has many um, technological um, applications, not even beyond Earth, but even on the planet. And I landed right there.
Interesting.
interesting. Now go to that picture, Murdoch, with China shuts down the tech cargo. Can you turn down that music, Sun Ra?
Oh my bad.
Please?
Let me put on mute.
You hear me, Murdoch? So that's interesting that you said that with the gold and basically different we say extraterrestrials, and we don't want people to say weird, but you guys, we're not the only intelligent civilization in the Matrix hologram. We're not the only intelligent beings in the universe. There's different civilizations like this all over. So when you watch our show, start thinking like that. I'm not telling you what you think, but I'm just saying, not even imagine. For me, no, like just like there's Earth, there's Mars, and not even this Mars, just say Matakunda, whatever. There's other intelligent civilizations all throughout the galaxy. And once you start applying that to this place that they call Earth, now you can see what they're really trying to do to us all, no matter what color you are. They're trying to lock us in this prison, but this is a free, beautiful place, possibly. So let's get into it. But China shuts down the cargo. That's the hacker one. We're going to get into that. But there's one it has the actual words of the technology, Murdoch, that they were not giving to the United States. Hopefully I did send that. If you can't find it, just go to the other one. But basically China is saying that there's certain parts, like certain crystals and technology. I should have wrote the actual names down for y'all, but if you guys are listening, type in China shuts down the technology cargo, and it'll give you a list of the certain minerals and certain things that they use for our cell phones, our computers, for the military in particularly.
I heard it's going to affect, if it affects cement,
interesting.
chemicals, aerospace, cell phones, solar panels.
Wow.
So a vast amount of, it's going to affect a lot, which is going to hike the prices up even more.
Yes, exactly. And so that's exactly, we're being attacked. If you guys clearly don't see, it doesn't have to be bloodshed. They have us distract us with all this celebrity nonstop and all this fake news that they're doing. Meanwhile, there's some things that are going to affect us when we go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep in this Matrix hologram that they have us so-called trapped in. So now we can go to the China hackers, y'all. So put that picture up, how once again the Chinese hackers in the U.S. infrastructure. So over 1 million U.S. citizens have been affected with cell phones, AT&T, Verizon, conversations, time, day. This is considered the biggest hack in the United States history. Government and political figures were targeted, including Trump and JD Vance and other political figures. So this once again lets you know that your text messages, and then they also recommend you to use encrypted apps like applications like WhatsApp and those type of things. So once again, your information isn't safe. They are stealing your data, so they can basically see how we function, feed it to you, and trap you in their whatever they feed you is real on the TV or an event that they create, because they have money to create the events, y'all. Just like y'all were saying with the front of the hotel murder. Was it real or not? Either way, does that affect us? But it affects how they're playing out the matrix. So even though we're not part of that, we have to look at the TV show that's playing out, which is the reality that they're giving us, which is false. And that's why we have to have our own land, our own clean water, food, and teachings and our culture back, because that's not our reality. That's their BS that they've done ever since they've been let out of the so-called caves or let back into humanity, when through my research is as if they were kicked out. Put in Quest of Fire for me, Murdoch. I want you guys to, once again, we always have a movie. Type in Quest for Fire. Quest for Fire. And it shows you once again the origins of what they call the troglodytes, the Caucasians, the pale-skinned Europeans. And once again, they even just found bones in China that are saying that are different than humanoid bones. We know that there's giants found all throughout the world, especially North America. So right here, they're showing you in this movie the origins of the caveman and their quest for fire, when we were already living in lush environments, y'all. Building pyramids, creating science, creating languages for them, and we created languages. And this, you see pyramids, you see the statues that we have already built, while another group of people who are controlling the world right now. So this is why the world is crazy, is because the people that we just showed are controlling the world. They recently just found out what fire was, y'all. So the question is, where did they get the technology from? Where do you guys think they're getting this technology from, Sunra, Arlana? If they just got out of the caves.
So, you like to go first, Goddess?
Oh, go ahead. You got the
Okay.
floor.
Okay. So, yeah, come on, man. They're getting, because their leaders are extraterrestrial, right? Their leaders are extraterrestrial beings who are 100,000 to 200,000 years more advanced than the humans are on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So their so-called secret Illuminati world order or world government are super advanced, because their leaders, the leaders of the elite, the overlords of the elite, they're advanced extraterrestrial beings that are giving them this technology. You know what I'm saying? In exchange, now ain't nothing free, shit. So in exchange, humans are being trafficked for food, number one, and slavery.
Get into that. So you're saying that all this is connected to the gods that they worship, and human sacrificing, the kidnappings, the tunnels, the blood drinking in certain religions, the asking for flesh. You're saying that all that's connected?
It's all intimately connected.
So can you explain further to the audience when you say that we just talked about them getting technology? We just showed Quest of Fire. So basically, we're saying that how is it that a group of people who just got out of the caves, what we call Europe, came into power? How did they come into power recently and get all this technology when we clearly, when you do more research, already had this technology.
We we're assuming because it's very very simple. We assuming that these people are human. We're assuming
Explain.
that these people are human. These are motherfucking Draco albino Draco reptilian shapeshifters that are really calling shots and running everything. That's what's going on.
Explain further while Murdoch puts on a Drake and Kendrick picture right there. So we were speaking
There
of
we go.
that.
Back at it. We're back at it.
So speak on the Drake and Draconian. So once again, y'all, you know, if you know me, I've been saying this for years. Once I heard the name Drake and I knew Draconian, even if you look to the left, you could left of his eye in top, you could see certain things. So go ahead and talk about the Draconians for those who might not be aware.
Okay. So the Draconians, also known as Lawe Tananu, Lawe Tananu, we get the word law, to serve the law. That comes back to Lawe Tananu, which goes back to Leviathan, who are the Draco, who are simply a ancient, very powerful, very advanced race of reptilian-like humanoid extraterrestrials from a whole nother star system, currently known as Thuban, but known as the Alpha Draconis star system, known as the Draco, right? So now on this planet, so how does that connect? So on this planet, the hottest rapper is called Drake. Now that's very interesting. That can be a coincidence if you believe in coincidences. There are two illusions on this planet. One of those illusions is coincidence. Another one is death. But those are both illusions, right? So you have a beings called Draco who've been on the planet for a while, ruling as underground overlords. Then you have a rapper named Drake. You see what I'm saying? That throws up the sixes. You know what I'm saying? And you got Leviathan 666. Oh shit. You got Leviathan 666. And you got Drake talking about he the sixth god. hmm It sounds to me that he's probably, no, not probably. He's most likely one of the representations. And then And then he's going for the Toronto Raptors. Do you got the image?
We had it last week on Nerd
Okay,
Murdoch has it,
okay.
but no, that's exactly. So with the Raptors, connect that for those who might not understand what the Draconians and uh, what we say human sacrificing and drinking blood and blood eating and missing children and missing people, but we want to connect it to what you're saying with humanoids or humans who've been here the whole time, who might pose as a human but are not.
Right. So one thing I missed explaining about these beings, not only are they ancient and very powerful, but they're also carnivorous. So they do a lot of blood drinking, blood eating. That's just their nature. Just like you see reptilians on this planet. If you observe reptilians on this planet, you can get a good idea of how an advanced version of these beings on this planet will operate. They have not transcended all this technology they got. They have a lot of technology, but they have not transcended their carnivorous nature. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a race of reptilians that are advanced and powerful, but they still eat meat. You know what I'm saying? And what type of meat? These motherfuckers are sacrificing human. Okay, humans on this planet Earth is a farm. A lot of y'all. This is a school for the gods, but it's a farm for the reptilians. Woo!
That's
Mm,
deep.
mm-hmm.
And
That's deep.
if you pay attention, they show you the movies. I don't know how many times they didn't drop this in the movie. You niggas got to pay attention. Got to pay attention. Now, here's the catch. There's a certain type of food humans that they like to eat. Mainly, it's the humans who are vibrating on the amber light. If your listen now, this is how animals. This is how they look at you. They look at your motherfucking aura. You know what I'm saying? This a cosmic jungle. This is a cosmic jungle. So an animal or another life form looks at you not by how you look, but your aura or your vibration. And if you're vibrating on amber, to a lot of beings, you are food. But if you vibrating on that green light or that purple, they looking at you like, okay, this some type of god. We ain't gonna fuck with him. Not gonna fuck with him because he's some type of god right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who he is, but he a god. Don't fuck with him. But that amber light, oh, we gonna eat him tonight. That's why we say raise your vibration, not to be all spiritual and woke, but you want to stay off the men. Ooh 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 ooh. Now what they do is to go a little deeper, and I'll keep it short and simple. There's a movie called The Fourth Kind. Called The Fourth. It's set in Nome, Alaska. Coincidentally, Nome, Alaska is where the Draco farm ship is cloaked. It's cloaked in the sky. Can't see it. That's where they farm ship is. And then listen, Hollywood turned around and made the movie Fourth Kind about an alien abduction in Nome, Alaska, because a ship came over this white woman's house, beamed her daughter through that motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? And look, they caught the aliens they caught these aliens talking, having a conversation. Long story short, they had to bring in a nigga to come decipher, and they were speaking Sumerian. Ooh, I landed
Yes.
right there. I landed right there.
There you go. And so that's what they try to keep us away from, y'all. When they put us in the schools, K through 12, learning all this bullshit, George Washington, all these things that really don't matter when you become a certain age. Now you see why, because they don't want us to eventually think enough to have these conversations to learn about ourselves. Because this is all us that they're trying to hide. Murdoch, can you put on one of those quantum teleports, how the scientists were trying to teleport, or how the human eye has a certain vision field? I sent two, either one. I sent one about how the human vision field, basically you could only see a certain megahertz. I believe the human eye can only see between 430 to 770 hertz. Our ears can only detect sound between 20 hertz to 20 kHzs. These ranges make up a fraction of the total sound and light frequencies. Basically, this means that there's a lot of light going on all around us, y'all. So imagine there was a movie called The 13th Floor. The 13th Floor, 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts. And they put on the glasses, y'all, and they could see the monsters, the ghosts. You feel me? It was with Raw Digger, and they even had the house built geometrically to trap them inside. And they said Da Vinci had built glasses, and also the Mayans and Aztecs and the Olmecs had certain glasses with obsidian. Like we know, you could look at the sun with the obsidian and study the eclipse and things of that. So like the movie They Live, 13th Ghost, imagine certain goggles and glasses that you could see a certain light spectrum. That's why when people eat from the funky fungus, psilocybin, magic mushroom, or plant medicine, their vibration shoots up because their pineal gland decalcifies, their cobra starts flickering, and now they're able to see and pick up different frequencies on a higher level. And that's what they keep. That's why they made weed illegal, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, all these things illegal, because this was based on our culture. This is who we are, and we traded these things amongst other people, just like they're doing today with the leaders of this so-called United States government blocking trade. So the citizens in this nation have to pay more on taxes and tariffs, because basically if they stop the exportation of certain China products, if China starts doing that, that's all economic war, which affects us in the long run. And once again, the solution is to move out, because imagine our technology when we're able to eat the psilocybin in an organized structure like our ancestors, activating our minds, drinking the ayahuasca and other plants, and this is part of our society. Imagine what we create. Imagine the arts, the food, all the games. And that's what I wanted to talk about with the football. Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, she wrote a book called The ISIS Papers. And she also broke down games, how they have us playing these ball games. If you look at the Mayan courts in Mesoamerica, you see that we play with the balls. You even can see some possibly had a rubber helmet because we were playing lacrosse and other different types of ball games. So once again, imagine when we create other games or take back those games to create wealth, because that's what you see it's all about, y'all. How are we as a nation of Aboriginal people going to create wealth? It's to create wealth through culture. So as long as we're under the guide of someone else introducing their ideologies, their programs and applications and their culture to us, our people are stifled. They're not able to grow. And that's what they did, what I learned when I was in South Africa studying with the Zulus. I would ask like, yo, you guys have all this knowledge. You're able to still build these huts. But when I go back and even myself, how are y'all still stuck in this? Like, and they said, that's it, brother. They keep us stuck in time. They take our land and then they bring the Christians and the Muslims and then we go to war and then they come and save us with the vaccines and everyone gets sick. And I said, oh. And he said, yeah, they trap us in time. And that's when I got it. I said, okay, if you control someone's land and control the school system and what they see, what they hear, what they know, and then if the sight on the TV of them being superheroes, us being thugs, gangsters, killers, you put us in a box, you know, as rats, and then program us to think a certain way. This is why you see our people act a certain way. It's mind control, y'all. And this is why we have these conversations to break the codes. Just like when we used to rap back in the day, the yard duties used to break us up. Why? You know, why is it that when we gather together, why is it that when we start wanting to be great, that's a problem? Why would the FBI director, CIA be mad of us being intelligent? But it's okay to people gangbang. It's okay. They let the Crips in the blood. They let that happen. They let that happen. They let Snoop Doggy Dogg be the #1 influencer for Black kids for years.
Uncle Snoop.
Olympics, dog. Taught Black kids, man, it's okay to be a gangbanger and a Crip. They commercialized gangbanging, made it cool. Now he's on TV. So it's accepted. It's part of the so-called Black community. That's why we have to separate from being Black, because we're not Black people. That doesn't have the culture of who we truly are as a people. And that's what we have to grasp onto. That's when other nations throughout the world are going to want to build with us, because we now have worth. Because right now, Black people are really almost worthless because you make money for them, but you yet have land, you yet have stadiums, you yet have your own institutions of higher learning, let alone technology. This is where it's at. That's the focus of reality, is getting the land and building our own, to the point to where if this continues, we might have to go to El Kibulan again. We won't call it Africa. We'll call it Thunder Rock, or we'll name it a different land. But if our people do not shape up, they're preparing, like Sun Ra said, for the purge for you. What else is left? If most likely this will be the last president, especially with AI, virtual reality. It's just too much interference that's going to be happening in the next 4 years. Possibly that's why Trump said he's not going to leave office. But those things we should not worry about. We focus on these solutions that we can tangibly do right now. It can happen overnight. So we got about 10 minutes left. So can you put on that picture, Murdoch, of Ja Rule in Ghana? Uh, hopefully I sent that one.
I didn't
Let me
see that
check
one. Oh,
the
you
link.
did.
Yeah, I did. So, for one, yes, we as a people need to build our own institutions and schools in our own land here in America. But also, you see a lot of the time what happens when we're not unified. We're able to get locked in prison, like Bill Cosby and all these people. Our celebrities and stuff get locked in prison or murdered while they're criminals. Don't let me forget about Joe Biden's son being locked in prison, but their criminals get off. But Brother Ja Rule shares a photo of his school building in Ghana. So if we're not able to build in America as we should right now, and if there ever is an evacuation needed for our people when there's another genocide for people who don't look like you, a safe place would be what they now call Africa, to where we can build our own nation and start building closer, because we have the resources there. We're the most populated people in the world. Is just that on TV and in the so-called new Matrix hologram, they have us thinking that we're the minorities of the planet, but in all actuality, we are the majority of the planet. So I thought it was beautiful for at least Ja Rule. I know people talk about Ghana and I have my opinion, but just the idea of having land and building a school. Now, what is the curriculum going to be? Are you going to teach them to believe in Christopher Columbus, George Washington, a savior that doesn't look like us? Are you going to have an African El Kubulan, ancient Egyptian, Tamare type of curriculum? Because we know Ghana and Nigeria are new names. Those were Igbo people and the Nuke people who talk about extraterrestrials. So what do you feel about that, Sun Ra, with Ja Rule building his own school in Africa?
I bet so I'm gonna be androgynous and I'm gonna be neutral, right? So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate, right? So on one hand, it's absolutely beautiful, man. A Nubian Nagaru black man that has money in America uses money to build a school, so he has good intention. Good intention. You know what I'm saying? You building a school in Africa, and the Africans are sleepier than Joe Biden, because them niggas still believe that the white man God, that the image of the white, these motherfuckers in Africa still believe the white man, the image of the white, it's beyond Jesus out there. They believe the image of the white man is God. So
Yeah.
they super sleep. So they really need our help. So when I see Ja Rule going out there and open up that school, that's awesome, dude. But however, what, just like you said it, what is going to be the motherfucking curriculum? Because if you still going to be if
Right.
you still going to be teaching, if you still going to be teaching African American history from the white man perspective, if you still going to be promoting, propagating Christianity, shit, then nigga, you just another agent that's listen, trying to keep niggas sleeping. That
Right.
depends on what. So I want to see, after the school is done, we gonna see his true intention when we figure out what are they teaching.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. What
Mm-hmm.
do you feel, Lana?
I'm looking something up because wasn't there like a documentary on Netflix with Ja Rule and some other guy with some island and they got over on people for some money? I don't know. Ja Rule just seems a little suspect. Like you said, Sunrod, it's beautiful, it's great, but Ja Rule, I don't know. I don't know about him. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know what's up his sleeve. Like, what's his motive behind building a school out there?
So
Um,
so real quick, to interrupt you right
yeah.
quick, I want to also say that Ghana is another place that a lot of the so-called black people in America are moving to. So I do also find it interesting, and also confirmation. I find out to be confirmation that Ghana might be the spot to move to. If you remember the movie 2012, after the end of the apocalypse, the only continent remaining was Africa, and it was bigger at the end of the movie.
Correct.
Mm,
Because
So
they say that the land mass is bigger than they show on the physical maps, because
mm-hmm.
if they showed how big it was, it would make sense on who we are as a people versus a small population that's controlling us. Clearly not the rest of the world, because basically here's how it goes. They're waiting on us as the so-called Black Americans, the Black Indians, the Mers and Moors, the true Aboriginal people of this land to wake up, because they know if there is a mass exodus of so-called Black Americans out of this nation, you know what happens? Boom, motherfuckers. That's what happens. They get attacked. The only fucking reason that this nation hasn't been blown the fuck up is because the true children of the gods live here, bro. That's fucking why. We control the reality. Wherever you go as a god from America, they love you, dog. Other than the racist stuff, they worship you. They worship us. And so when we have the right, correct state of mind, and if we do have to leave this land, wherever we go, we will be praised. Let's not use the word praise, but we will be loved, admired. Just like in ancient times, wherever we would go, when you would have knowledge of self, they revered you as a god or goddess because you brought a different, higher form of knowledge, whether it was farming, science, wealth, entertainment. You brought something new to their culture that they did not have. And that's why they praise you as the gods. And that's what they do today. They use us as gods who are asleep. Just like we show love to Dion, but on the flip side, we see how one Black man is used to make billions and trillions for those who are not going to give us our land back, for those who are not going to say, here's your land, here's your own schools and stadiums. No, they're going to make sure that they use that Black man to make sure that their industries do not go bankrupt. Because if you took out all the so-called Black people of the NBA, MLB, NFL, and sports, what would you have? And then how about this? Imagine if all the Aboriginal people played against those who were non-Aboriginal. Imagine those Olympics. Imagine if we had a true intellectual Olympics outside of just sports to where we could prove who's the most intellectual. But currently we haven't been given that opportunity because there's a group of people running rampant on the planet trying to hypnotize people to believe in their reality when we, the people, determine the reality. So that's what we're doing right now. We're determining our reality. For me, you see, I have my reality, but it's being shaped. We're putting pieces to the puzzle together. And that's why we all need each other, right? The answer for those of us who've already been here in the matrix or had many lives and ready to ascend to higher levels, it's time. The time is now. 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago, our grandparents weren't allowed to talk like this. Some of our grandparents who were what they call Black Indians were not allowed to talk about us being Indians, because I guarantee you, everyone listening right now, you have a grandmother or great grandmother, when you asked her and had a conversation, I guarantee you, she said that we were Indian. What about you, Sun Ra? Lana?
Absolutely. My grandpa was raised on a reservation. They spoke the language. Yeah. Go ahead.
So there you go. So we're about to close it up. I did see you, Murdoch. My bad. So everybody close it up tonight. I wanted to throw on that last one with the VR game. Did you get that one so I could close it out with that? Because it makes sense of what the name of the show is. And we're going to close it out. Murdoch, there you go. Palmer Luckey made a VR headset that kills the youth if they die in the game. And for me, this is what we're living in, y'all. They tricked us to believe that you can die. Because when they die, they are stuck in this realm. They can only go as high as we take them mentally. That's why they kidnap us and put us in their countries, in their schools, and force us to convert to their religions and their way of thinking. Because if we're not around them, they can't ascend to a higher level. Their spacesuit doesn't get quick enough. It'll take them thousands of years to get to the level that we can do in one day, because our spacesuit downloads information so quickly and conducts through our body, we can manifest it quicker than anyone else. So as long as they have us trapped, they can steal our ideas, siphon our energy, especially if we don't know. So basically, if they can convince you that you die in the video game, you get trapped here. So we're going to end it with that. We're in a Matrix hologram, y'all. We cannot die. We are beings of light. This is why we have to question the time, the day, the calendar, the months, and the years, because they have us in a time loop, especially coming up with the Christmas time loop and New Year's. Like Lana said, aren't you tired of it? We are kids. We're just been locked in this prison growing old. So here we go. We're closing it out. Say goodbye to the crowd. Sun Ra and Lana. Murdoch says it's the end of the show, y'all.
Go ahead, Sun Ra. Go ahead, Sun Ra. I'll end it.
Peace, y'all. Peace. I shook.
And Lana?
You did an excellent job. I actually jotted all these notes down before the show, and I was just going to say, in some, like I said, we're witnessing the fall of many systems right before our eyes. So it doesn't sound like the powers that were, they were the powers that be. It doesn't sound like the powers that were have a good plan for us. So like we were saying, it's time to unify. You got to get rid of folks that aren't for you and start clicking up with your tribe. And sometimes your tribe is not your family. It could be just people that you've never known or you're going to meet. So you got to unify, click up, and start building, because these folks got a plan for you and your future, and it's not a good one. So I don't know what else to tell y'all, but kind of think outside the box a little bit and pay attention to what's going on around you. So peace, love. Thank you for joining us, and see y'all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And peace and love, y'all. Once again, I'm Jason Elm Street Williams, Master of the Universe. This is What is the Matrix? And I have the new book, Jason and the Lost Pyramid. Find it on Amazon. Jason and the Lost Pyramid. Find it on Amazon, Cash App, $ Jason Elm Street. And you can hit me up on my website, thematrixuniversity.com. Peace and love, y'all. Wake up from the Matrix. The time loop is real. The mothership has landed. Prepare the rapture. Peace and
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is the Matrix?
Start me from the top, man. Maybe it's the weed got me. Maybe it's these trees got me. Maybe it's these hoes got me. Maybe it's this stroll that got me. Maybe it's these clothes got me. Maybe it's these laws got me. Maybe it's my dogs got me. Maybe it's these bras got me. Maybe it's this man that got me. Maybe it's my clan that got me. Maybe it's my fam that got me. My plans, my plans. The Matrix, Matrix.
When I wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning, reading my Bible paper. Lord, I can see them later. Middle finger up, always screaming, fuck a hater. Chewing on them suckers.
Welcome to the world-famous King Tut Museum. Be sure to respect the ancient relics. The ancient Egyptians were a magical people who built numerous beautiful, magnificent structures, like the world-famous pyramids and temples. No running inside. Scientists till this very day still do not know how the Egyptians built the pyramids.
I wonder, did aliens ever visit ancient Egypt? Wow, look at that giant Egyptian statue. It looks just like you, Jason. Thanks, Toby. You're a super cool friend. Imagine what the world would look like if I was the pharaoh.
Jason, you are daydreaming. Wake up.
Sorry, history got away from me.